If you have been listening to this podcast for a while, you know that over the last 30 years, I have taught over 15,000 men and women how to control their anger, master their emotions, and create calmer, happier, and more loving relationships. Over these 30 years, I have heard countless stories of people losing their temper at others. Perhaps it was because their partner said or did something that triggered them, or maybe because their child was acting out and pushing their buttons. Perhaps they lost their temper on the roads when someone cut them off, or at work when a colleague said something that rubbed them the wrong way. I know it's natural to feel angry in these situations, but I also know that there is one fundamental truth about anger that many people do not think about. And it is a truth that once you understand it, it will change how you view anger forever. So, what is this truth? I will share this truth with you very shortly. Hello and welcome to episode 49 of the Anger Secrets podcast. I'm Alistair Hughes, and over the last 30 years, I've taught over 15,000 men and women how to control their anger, master their emotions, and create calmer, happier, and more respectful relationships. In this podcast, I share practical strategies and real-life stories to help you control your anger, master your emotions, and create calmer, happier relationships. For free support on your anger management journey, including free training and the opportunity to book a free 30-minute anger assessment call with me, visit my website, angersecrets.com. I look forward to talking with you. Now, let's jump into today's episode. Anger just does not work. As I have mentioned, over the last 30 years, I have listened to countless stories of people losing their temper and getting angry in various situations. And while it may feel like a natural response, there's one fundamental truth about anger that many people overlook. This truth is, anger just does not work. Yes, you heard that right. No matter the situation or what is happening around you, or how much you feel justified in getting angry, anger will not help you deal with any situation effectively. In fact, it will only make things worse. While the idea that anger just does not work may sound obvious, it is an incredibly powerful realization for many people. When you understand that no matter how angry you get, it will not help you in any way, shape, or form, it motivates you to find a better way of expressing yourself and handling tough situations. To explain this more, let me start with a common misconception. Many people believe that getting angry gives them power or control over a situation. For example, you may think that if you get angry enough, the other person will back down or give you what you want. In reality, the idea that anger gives you power is an illusion. When you get angry, it only takes away your power and leaves you feeling out of control. It takes away your ability to think clearly, connect with others, and find a solution that works for both sides. In other words, anger may give you a temporary rush of energy and make you feel more powerful, but it almost never gets you the outcome you want. In fact, it almost always leads to negative consequences, damaging relationships, regretful actions, and even physical harm. Every outburst of anger you experience chips away at your well-being and the quality of your connections with others. And worse still, if you don't take action to control it, anger has a way of multiplying over time and becoming worse. So, now that you've understood that anger just does not work, let me remind you of something vital. Your anger does not define you. You can choose how you respond to every situation, no matter what it is, how long you've been dealing with anger issues, or what kind of experiences you have had. It's never too late to control your emotions and create a better outcome for yourself. You can learn how to manage your anger in healthier ways. You can learn to break the cycle of negative patterns and establish lasting change. And you can create calmer, more peaceful, and more respectful relationships with those around you. Albert Einstein once said, "Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result." This is a powerful quote to remember when it comes to your anger. How often have you lost your temper with your partner, children, or co-workers and achieved a good outcome? For most people, the answer is never. The truth is, if you want to break the anger cycle and create a healthier relationship with yourself and the people around you, it starts with you. You are the only one who can take responsibility for your actions and commit to change. It starts with making a conscious decision to be in control of yourself and your reactions, to consciously choose how you respond to people and situations, instead of letting your anger take over. And it starts with taking action, learning the strategies to control your anger, putting them into practice, and following through on that commitment daily. To illustrate this, many years ago, I was working with a man called Richard. Richard was in his early 40s and had been married about 10 years. His wife, Tanya, had just left him, and he was devastated. Richard told me that he had been trying to control his anger for years, but nothing had worked. In fact, the harder he tried, the angrier he got, and the more out of control he felt. The turning point for Richard was when I asked him whether in all the time he had been getting angry, was there ever a time when his anger helped him? Richard thought about this for a while and said, "I don't think so." I then asked Richard how getting angry made him feel. "It makes me feel out of control," Richard told me. "I hate that feeling because I know I will regret what I do later. I always feel so guilty afterwards." It was then that Richard realized the truth. Anger was not helping him achieve anything. In fact, it was only making things worse. This was the first time that Richard had ever thought of anger in this way. He used to think that he was justified in getting angry, or that it was the only way to make Tanya listen. But now Richard could see that this was not true. Anger had never helped him, and it had only made things worse. In that moment, Richard took his first step towards breaking the cycle of anger. Of course, Richard still needed to learn the tools and techniques to control his anger, but he was now ready and willing to make the change. And you can be too. Let's hear, for instance, from a couple of people who have completed my comprehensive online anger management program, the Complete Anger Management System. Jason, a 48-year-old man who had been divorced twice due to his anger issues, said this to me after completing the Complete Anger Management System.
One of the first things that's said in the course is about anger not working. It never helps the situation. And I guess for me, I realised again, because it was content that was in there, was that as opposed to getting angry, what I've started to do is try and understand why it's happening, try to understand why the other person is doing or saying what it is they're doing. And that puts me in a different frame of mind.
So remember, no matter what the situation is or what is happening around you, anger just does not work. But the good news is that you can control your anger and create healthier connections with others. It starts with a conscious decision to make a change. If you are ready to take that step, contact me via my website, angersecrets.com. I look forward to helping you control your anger once and for all. Okay, that's all for today's episode. Anger just does not work. If you found this episode helpful, please follow this podcast, head to your favourite podcast app, and leave a rating and review. This will help other people struggling with anger find and benefit from this show. Remember, for free support on your anger management journey, including free training and the opportunity to book a free 30-minute anger assessment call with me, visit my website, angersecrets.com. I look forward to helping you control your anger once and for all. And finally, remember, you can't control other people, but you can control yourself. I will see you in the next episode. Take care.
The Anger Secrets podcast is for general informational purposes only, and does not constitute the practice of counseling, psychotherapy, or any other professional health service. No therapeutic relationship is implied or created by this podcast. If you have mental health concerns of any type, please seek out the help of a local mental health professional.